Hello, welcome back to another monthly fibre arts favourites. It has been some time since I've done one of these videos. For the past few months, I've just kind of felt like I didn't really have much to talk about. I definitely had favourites, but not really anything specifically in the fibre arts realm. So I didn't really feel like just making a video for the sake of making a video. And also as well, in the summertime, I was just a little bit busier, so I just didn't have enough time to film and edit and upload as many of these videos as I would have liked. I was also filming and editing my Vlogoween vlogs, so that was taking up like a huge amount of my time. But hopefully I'll feel a little bit more inspired and have a little bit more time to do these monthly fibre arts favourites, because I really enjoyed doing them and I really like looking back on them as well to see like how my favourites have differed throughout the year. Also, hello, if you don't know me, my name is Rajan, aka Not a Half Bad Crochet, and if you enjoy crochet and lifestyle content, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a little like and leave me a comment to let me know what you think. So without further ado, let's jump into my first favourite of November. The first one may be a little bit surprising, but my fibre arts favourite for this month is not crocheting any Christmas gifts. I've been crocheting since January of 2023, so coming up to 3 years, which is so crazy because 3 years just sounds like such a long time, but it also feels like not that long at all. And also it feels like I've just been crocheting forever. Like I really struggle to think of a time where I wasn't crocheting, or like a time in my life where I wasn't crocheting, because I was like, what was I doing with all of my spare time? And I think for the first Christmas that I was like very confident, or became more confident in my crochet abilities, I did kind of immediately start crocheting people Christmas gifts, and I really kind of struggled with the things that I would make and for who as well, because obviously crochet takes a long time. I didn't want to make something for somebody that I didn't think they'd use it or appreciate it, or didn't really kind of like understand how much effort everything that I made took. So I didn't crochet a lot of Christmas gifts, but I definitely did do some. And I think I've crocheted Christmas gifts for people for the past 2 Christmases, and whilst it's been enjoyable and whilst I've loved the things that I've made and the people who I've given them to have loved the things that I've made, it is quite stressful. And I think particularly around the end of the year, after summer, I already have so many ideas of like sweaters and cardigans and stuff that I want to crochet for myself, that I find it really difficult to find the balance of like crocheting something for somebody else but also finishing up the year and crocheting the things that I want to make for myself, which you probably think is like kind of selfish, but like I crochet for myself. Like of course I'm going to prioritize and want to do the things that I want. So this is actually the first year that I'm not crocheting any Christmas gifts for anyone, and I feel really fine about it. I didn't feel stressed. I wasn't like, oh my god, I've got to start thinking about Christmas gifts in like October, especially when I'm crocheting something for like my partner. Obviously we live together, it's a little bit harder, particularly if I want to do it as a surprise, because I have to like wait for him to leave, or if he's going out with his friends, or if he's working in the office. So it's very difficult to navigate. I think one of the issues that I usually have is that like my friends and my family don't really wear like small things, so like they're not really scarf people, or like they don't really wear beanies. Like my partner does, but like my family and my friends don't really wear beanies. And yeah, it's quite hard to find things that I know that they're going to enjoy and wear or utilize that is small, because like they don't really wear scrunchies, they don't really enjoy like crochet home decor, that sort of thing. It's usually quite difficult to find smaller items to crochet them, so typically I've gone for just like things that I know that they'll use. So I crocheted my partner a sweater, my sister a sweater, my mum this like big shawl, I've crocheted my bestie a couple of tops, you know. So it's quite difficult to find smaller projects, which I think is why when I do crochet gifts for people, it tends to be like a considerably bigger task than I assume it's going to be. But it feels nice to finish this year not kind of like worried about getting something done on a deadline. And I have realized that I don't like crocheting on a deadline, particularly when the thing isn't for myself. I think it's quite hard to, as a crafter, not to like default to being like, oh yeah, I'll crochet something or crochet someone a gift and that will be the gift sort of thing. But it feels quite nice. It's like a release of pressure that I just put on myself for absolutely no reason. For my next fibre arts favourite, it is going to be tapestry crochet, to absolutely no one's surprise. I've been on a real tapestry crochet kick lately, if you probably couldn't tell from a lot of my previous projects. I think maybe the last 3 minus like 3 or 4 projects have all been tapestry crochet, and yeah, I've just been really loving it. I think I did my first ever tapestry piece, I think earlier this year or maybe last year, and I found it a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. The part of it I didn't really like was like actually creating the chart itself, but even then it's still very achievable and it's still very doable. I think it just involves a little bit more concentration than I typically would like when it comes to crochet, but I feel like the payoff is so worth it that I really don't mind the amount of concentration I have to use when I'm actually crocheting. I completed a pattern test for Aiden Wells Crochet. This is their clown college sweater. It's a really fun tapestry piece with this clown face. One side is this sad clown and the other side is this smiling happy clown, and I just think it's such a cool piece. I really am like very drawn to like clown imagery. I really love the aesthetic of like clowns, and I think like for Halloween, for like I think maybe 4 years, I have always dressed up as some kind of clown. So yeah, I really enjoy the imagery. So when I saw that they were doing a testicle, I realized that like I had the availability in the time frame to be able to crochet this. I had the yarn, I kind of knew what color palette roughly that I'd be able to do. So yeah, I was really pleased and surprised that I got selected to do the pattern test, and it was a really fun test. And like I've never done a pattern test before. As a pattern designer myself, like I'm usually on the other side, so it felt quite nice to be able to be involved in the pattern test as well, and to be able to provide the feedback and the photos and obviously actually crochet the piece for them. And this project in particular really emphasized how little yarn you need for the actual tapestry part. I think in my head another reason why I wasn't really gravitating towards tapestries, because I presume that you'd need like quite a lot more yarn than you did. So even for like this eye area, I had like quite a significant amount of yarn, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be enough, and it was like more than enough. Like this area is really, in terms of like yarn, is really not that much. So I think that this was like the light bulb moment of like, oh, tapestry crochet is actually pretty simple. I can make the charts, I've done it before, I know how to do like the sizing and to kind of like understand my gauge and understand how big to make the chart, and now I know that like, oh, the actual tapestry part doesn't need that much yarn. I was like, oh, a light bulb, this is actually really achievable and something that I can definitely do more of. So if you don't know me, I love Halloween. Halloween is like one of my favorite times of the year. I love the autumn weather, I love the autumn aesthetic, I love when it starts to get colder, because I don't like summer. I get very overstimulated in the heat. I don't like the summertime. So when it starts to become autumnal, it's like my favorite time of the year, because I'm like, great, summer has ended, let's move on. And I love Halloween, I love spooky season, I love horror movies, I love the aesthetic of Halloween, I love everything about it, I love dressing up, that sort of thing. So for last year I did a Halloween crochet project, and I really kind of want to keep this up of doing a Halloween project each year. And I have always been really drawn to like these kind of like kitschy, almost like tacky vintage Halloween vests and cardigans and sweaters. I think they're very like American. I don't typically see them in England, but like I remember seeing them in like TV shows, like very like Disney Channel teacher cardigan, if that makes sense. So I really wanted to crochet myself a cardigan with that sort of vibe. I have a whole series of vlogs where I show you the process, I show you how I planned everything, I do all of the charting, I design every panel. So I did everything from scratch. Like I designed each of the images and then charted everything and made sure it was my size, then obviously chose my yarn, that sort of stuff, and I've documented the whole process. So that was during my Vlogoween series, so I have a few vlogs for each part of the process of me crocheting this cardigan. If you haven't watched them, I will link them in the description in case you want to check them out. But I made this really fun and I think very awesome cardigan. It's a obviously Halloween themed, but I didn't want like kind of classic Halloween colors with like the orange and the purple and the green and the black. I wanted something that was a bit more cutesy. I wanted something that I could easily implement into my wardrobe and with like fun and vibrant colors. So this is the cardigan that I crocheted. We have one front panel here, which is a jack-o'-lantern in a box. I absolutely love this panel. This was really hard to design because when I kind of like uploaded the image, the way Stitch Fiddle just kind of like populated the graph, it was just fucking crazy. So I had to basically go over everything, like drawing over it on Stitch Fiddle with my mouse. Like, I don't have a tablet, I don't have like a pen that I can just draw it on. So yeah, it was quite difficult. It took me a very, very long time, but I absolutely love how this panel turned out. I think this is potentially my favorite panel. And then for the sleeves, I did these really fun bright colored stars with all of the kind of like bobbins that I had left over. For the other front panel, I did this really adorable ghost with a party hat and a little skull balloon. I think this is so cute. I really wasn't sure how this panel was going to turn out in particular, but I think it's turned out so fun. And then on the other sleeve, we've got some more fun stars. I did add these like little kind of sparkly stars on the front of both of the panels, which I think are just like a really nice added touch. And then for the back panel, which is probably the craziest part of it, I just did this massive haunted house, which is just very big, it's very large. I did like this really rich magenta color and this like kind of limey slimy green for the windows with this little crescent moon. And this panel was absolutely crazy. The amount of bobbins I had was insane, because especially at the bottom you can kind of see like how many color changes there were. And yeah, this is the cardigan. And like I said, I do have a few vlogs where you can check out the process of me crocheting this cardigan if you want to know more. And yeah, so this was the second tapestry crochet project that I did this year, and I absolutely love it. And then the next one I did, which isn't actually the final one, but the next one I've done is the Brontosaurus top by Made in the Moment. This is a pattern that I've had in my inbox for probably about a year. I think I bought this like before I even was like confident in doing tapestry crochet. I think I got it to be like, I'm going to do tapestry and I'm gonna like buy a pattern so I don't have to do it myself, that sort of thing. And then I just didn't do it. So even after I did my first tapestry crochet project, which was my Uzma Kappa sweater, which I did all on my own, I for some reason just didn't gravitate towards doing it. I think I was like a little bit intimidated by written patterns in general, and like I wasn't the most confident in reading written patterns. And then I did the Made in the Moment on Fire sweater, which is also tapestry, and I was like, oh, this is actually like, I think the way that Made in the Moment in particular writes their patterns, it was very easy for me to understand and easy for me to read. So I was like, oh my god, I have this pattern still and I haven't made it. So I did exactly that. And I think, like I said, where I had this like light bulb moment of, oh, it doesn't take up that much yarn, I was able to utilize some of my scrap yarn that I have. I do also have a whole vlog of me crocheting this, so if you want to know more about the process and the yarn I used and how I feel about the pattern, you can head over there. I also have a vlog for the Clown College sweater, so any of the sweaters that I've just shown, I will link the vlogs in the description so you can check them out. But this was a really great pattern. I added these like fun little stripes on the sleeves as well. But yeah, I think it turned out so cute. So that is my love letter to tapestry crochet over. I am in fact crocheting another currently tapestry crochet project. As a sneak peek, or maybe if you follow me on TikTok you may know this already, but I am crocheting the Stab movie logo. If you know the Scream franchise, or if you know any of the Scream movies, from like the second movie onwards, they start making a movie in the movie called Stab, which is basically like a movie that recounts everything that happened from the first Scream. It sounds absolutely insane when I say it out loud, but like it makes sense. If you've seen the films, it makes sense. So the Stab movie, which is not actually a real movie, it has its own logo, and as the films progress, like they make merch about it, and they have like the logos on a t-shirt and stuff like that, and then you can see the characters wearing it. And so I am basically turning that movie logo into a sweater. I'm probably about, I'd say maybe about halfway through it. I think it's going really, really well. I'm really excited to show you guys how it's going. Obviously, if you want to know more about it, subscribe to my channel and you can check out the vlog when it's live. I'm really sure that this will not be my last tapestry crochet project. Where I've had quite a few big projects, particularly my Halloween cardigan, I have a lot of leftover yarn. And where I've realised that tapestry doesn't use a lot of yarn, I think that I can come up with some really fun tapestry pieces that are gonna utilize a lot of the scrap yarn that I've accumulated throughout the year. So I'm really excited to like bring those ideas to life, and I do plan on doing a little video where I just go through all of my ideas and my plans and my crochet plans for 2026. So again, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can check out that video when I actually get around to doing it. So moving away from fibre arts a little bit, I have really enjoyed reading manga lately. I used to be a really big reader, and then I went through some significant trauma in my life, and I really struggled to read. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but like I really struggled to focus and pick up a book and actually be able to pay attention to the words on the page and the story that they're trying to tell, and I really struggled with it for several years. I don't think COVID helped that. I think like my attention span and my ability to like not get distracted and be able to focus on the words on the page. I really struggled with it for quite some time, and I started getting into audiobooks earlier this year because I found some free ones on YouTube, and yeah, I started listening to audiobooks, really enjoyed the audiobooks, and then I realized that I have a Kindle and it is just in my drawer, in my office drawer, just like knocking around, not really doing anything. So I decided to dig it up. It's charged, it still works totally fine. The only thing is that it's like 10 years old, so I tried to access the books that I know that I bought through Amazon on Kindle, and I can't access them anymore because I can't log into my Amazon account because the Kindle is so old that apparently I need to do like a software update, but like it won't allow me to because the Kindle is old. Like I literally spoke to the Amazon customer services and they were like, yeah, you can't do anything. And I was like, okay, so I have this device, what to do now? Like, what do I do? Like, can I not do anything? And like, do I have to just throw it in the bin? And she was like, well, you can trade it in, but yeah, you can't do anything with it, which I think is absolutely insane. Another reason why I fucking hate Amazon, because obviously I have books that I've bought, but I can't access them, which I think is absolutely nuts. Anyway, so I was like, okay, well, I have this e-reader, this Kindle that I can't do anything with. And then I realized that I can download PDFs of books. And so I've been doing that. And if you don't know how to, just give it a simple Google. And then I realized that comic books and manga exist, and I love The Walking Dead. If you don't know, The Walking Dead is one of my comfort shows. It is my emotional support show. It's a little bit fucked up. I watch it pretty much every year, and I even recently got a Walking Dead tattoo. That's how much I love the show. So I have never read the comic books because it is based off comic books. I found the comic books online and the ebooks of them and uploaded them to my Kindle and was reading them, and I thought that it was great. And then I realized, oh my god, I really gotten into anime, and obviously a lot of anime, or the majority of anime, is based off of a manga, which is a comic book. So then I realized, oh my god, I can download the PDFs of these animes that I watch, the manga. After I finished reading The Walking Dead, I then started reading a little bit of Death Note, and then I started reading My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is like my gateway anime. It was the anime that got me into anime, and I love it. I love it so much. I feel such a maternal bond to those children. I love them so much, and I'm currently catching up and watching the 8th season because I watched the anime first. And you're probably gonna think this is crazy, but because I watched the anime first, I don't want to read past the point of where I'm up to in the anime, if that makes sense. So I'm waiting for the rest of the season 8 to come out and for me to catch up on that before I finish reading the entire manga, because I burned through the manga. I read through, I think there's like 42 volumes. I'm on volume 40, and I've kind of had to stop because I'm like, I think I'm gonna like give myself spoilers basically, and I want to watch it first and then read it. So yeah, I caught up really fast. I really enjoyed reading My Hero Academia, and I am really excited for the rest of the season to come out so I can finish reading it. And I am thoroughly enjoying reading all of this manga. I have literally just been like, every time a new one pops into my brain, or I've been like, oh, I kind of want to read this, I will literally just Google name of the manga, PDF download, and I will typically be able to find a download of it. Sometimes it will be like in a different file format, but then I can just convert it to PDF and that works fine. And now I am currently reading Tokyo Ghoul. So I am on volume 7 of Tokyo Ghoul, and I gotta say, I love the artwork of this. I really love it. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the artwork because I feel like the artwork style is kind of different to My Hero Academia and like anything else I've really seen, but I absolutely love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I watched season 1 of Tokyo Ghoul. I tried to watch season 2 and I just found it very difficult to get into, and I feel like season 1 is quite dark, and like a lot of bad things happen like just in general, and I feel like it's quite dark. It's quite like, I don't know, it took like a real emotional toll on me. I feel like the trauma that like a lot of the characters go through really kind of like hit me, where I was just like, I feel very intense. It's almost like difficult to watch. It was like difficult to experience sort of thing, but I'm really enjoying the manga so far. Like I said, I'm on volume 7. I think there's 14 volumes in total. I have access to all of them. Like I said, just give it a Google, you'll be able to find it. I do really want to crochet myself a case for my Kindle. I did used to have one, and I really liked it because it was one that you kind of like slot in, and then it has like a fold over thing, and then it has like a little elastic thing to keep it on top. But every time I see Kindle cases cases. They're usually ones that you have to like, they're like a sleeve, and I don't want to have to like take it out of something. I want to just be able to like open it up, but for it to still be protected. At the moment I've got this like strap thing at the back just so I can like comfortably read in bed without having to like hold it very awkwardly, because I have a Kindle Fire, I think it's called. It's kind of heavy to like be holding in bed, and I much prefer, like, I know obviously I could buy these mangas and I could build a collection, but I much prefer an e-copy because I don't have a lot of room and I don't have a lot of storage, so I don't want to be buying like, you know, 14 volumes or 40 plus volumes of a book series and then not be able to have anywhere to put it. I much prefer ebooks for that reason. And also, like, I don't really like holding a book. I much prefer just being able to hold my Kindle like this. And then for my next favorite is going to be this fidget toy. It's called a Tangle, and I've seen these like online before. It's just like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a bunch of like interconnected little plastic pieces, but they all kind of like, you know, it's like, it is a tangle basically. It's just like this little snaky thing that like tangles together, and you can open it and you can squash it, and it's like very kind of moldable. You can do it with one hand, you can do it with two. It's something that I really enjoy having just like on my desk at work. I think even when I'm working, when I'm editing, when I'm on like a Zoom call or something, it's just nice to kind of like fiddle around with something. And yeah, I've been really enjoying my little tangle. And on to the media portion of my favorites. As always, I have been watching a lot of TV shows and a lot of movies. The first TV show I want to mention is an anime called Romantic Killer. I absolutely loved this, and I really was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. It sounds absolutely insane, so just bear with me, but as a lot of anime premises do. But it basically follows the story of a teenage girl who is obsessed with video games. She is like, her three favorite things in the world is her cat, video games and chocolate, and she has no interest in boys at school. She has no interest in doing anything else. She lives like a very kind of like regular life, but she's just very obsessed with these three things. And then she buys this new video game, this like magical like wizard who kind of looks like a bean, I keep calling it a magical bean, pops out of the video game and basically says that due to the declining birth rate in Japan, the bean is essentially forcing the main character to find a romantic partner, and they're gonna like essentially help them. And to help them, they are taking away video games, chocolate and their cat, so that they can focus on finding a romantic partner, which is such an insane premise, and I was really unsure how I was going to feel about it. But it's really funny. It's really funny. It's really cute. It's very wholesome as well, which I wasn't expecting. And all of this crazy shit happens where the little magical bean is like putting the main character in these like very weird scenarios, very like cliche rom-com scenarios, particularly like J-drama, K-drama, romantic scenarios where it's like, oh, they trip up and then it's like in slow-mo and they end up like falling into the arms of the person that they're attracted to or whatever. And it's all these very funny scenarios, but obviously like it's not done in like a romantic way. The main character is very much like pushing away from it all, so it's very, very funny. It's very cutesy, it's very wholesome. There's some really cool characters in it. I think it was a very pleasant surprise. It's only 12 episodes, so it's a kind of one and done. I really like the way that it ended. I think from like the reviews that I read, a lot of people were expecting a season 2. I'm glad that I watched it when I did and then knew it wasn't going to have an additional season. I do believe that they're not like continuing it, but it was really fun and I really liked the way that they did the ending. I thought it was a very good way to end the show, and yeah, I would really recommend it, particularly if you like romance animes or romance shows, but like not super soppy lovey-dovey. It has a lot of humor in it, and the animation style is also really fun. For the next media favorite, I have been watching It, Welcome to Derry. I have been watching the episodes week by week. I believe we're on episode 5 or 6, and I think there's only 8 episodes in total. I really love this. Again, a very pleasant surprise. This is a TV show which is like a spin-off or a prequel, let's say, to the It movies, and so it has Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, and it's set in the same universe and same town, obviously Derry, as the It movies were. So since it's a prequel, it is before all of the events of the It movies, both chapter 1 and 2. I think it's set in the, I want to say 60s, and I am really enjoying it. I think the way they're telling the story is really fun. It's really cool to see like more of a, not a complete origin story of Pennywise, but more of a whole picture of, you know, what Pennywise is, how he came to Derry, what the relationship to Derry is as a entity and as a place and location. And yeah, it's really interesting. I think the story is being told in a really cool way. I'm looking forward to seeing like where it goes, especially knowing that obviously like they don't succeed in what they're currently trying to do, because we have the events of It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. I think the scares and the forms that Pennywise shows up as are really cool, really fucking creepy and kind of scary. I'm not like scared, but I'm like, damn, they did a good job of that. I don't really get scared with a lot of stuff. I think it takes like it's quite a lot for me to actually get frightened with something, because I am quite desensitized to horror movies in general. But yeah, it's creepy as fuck. I think the effects are really good. I would love to see more practical effects though. That's my only like wish, is that the effects are very computer generated, which is fine. I would love to see some of the things that they did as practical effects. I think that they could do it so well, and I think it looks so cool. I'm not like the biggest fan of the acting performances from some of the children in the show. I think obviously where we have like It movies as a kind of direct comparison, I feel like the acting chops, I guess, from the kids of the It movies was so good, and they were all so talented, that it's hard to kind of compare it to the kids of the show. So I think they've got like big boots to fill, and I think at the moment they're not necessarily filling them, but they're still doing a very good job, and I think it's very impressive for children to act in the way that they're doing. But yeah, it's not like, they're not like my favorite child actors, let me just say. But yeah, I'm really loving the show. I'm really intrigued to see where it goes. I think there's only like 2 or 3 episodes left at this point, and I would really recommend it, especially if you're a fan of It and like the It universe. I will say though, I don't know what it is about like production companies or these streaming services or whatever, when it comes to releasing stuff around like Halloween and like spooky season, like this aired like towards the end of October, which I think is crazy, because especially where it's a TV show and you're gonna have like multiple episodes. If it was like a movie, fine, but this aired towards the end of October, meaning that we're gonna end up watching it like throughout November and maybe a little bit in December. And I'm kind of like, why would you do that? Like if you started airing it maybe in like the end of September, then you would be able to air it throughout October, and then you could even organize it so that your season finale falls on Halloween or falls on like Halloween weekend, where more people are likely to watch it, because they're going to be like, oh, it's Halloween, let's watch something spooky, let's watch something creepy, and you're going to get more views. I will never understand that. And I think more Halloween and spooky and horror shows and movies should actually be put in October and aired in October. Anyway, that's my rant over. A movie that I really enjoyed this month was The Roses. I believe this came out a couple of months ago. I do remember like seeing it in the cinema, and honestly I haven't done much research into this, but the storyline kind of reminds me of War of the Roses, which is like an older film which is basically about a couple getting a divorce, but they basically hate each other, and they kind of like go to war on each other, where they try to like ruin their lives in the process of the divorce. And it's kind of funny. They essentially like play pranks on each other. They do these things that kind of like mess with their lives or mess with their career or whatever it is, and it's like they play these little pranks and jokes on each other. And yeah, it's an older film. I do remember watching it when I was quite young, and I don't think I should have been watching it at the age that I did, but it's a kind of very classic film. So I don't know if The Roses is meant to be like almost like a reboot or a new version of that movie, but the storyline is basically the same. Olivia Colman plays the wife, and then Benedict Cumberbatch plays the husband, and those two in this movie are so magnetic. Like I was cracking up, laughing out loud. Like did not expect to be laughing as much as I did. And I don't mean just like a little giggle, I mean like genuinely so funny. The way that they both played this role was so perfect, and their chemistry together is so excellent. And the humor, I feel like, oh, it was just so good that I was really taken aback by it. It was like a really pleasant surprise, and yeah, I would really recommend watching it. I remember when I saw the posters for this movie come out, I didn't really think much of it, but I do love Olivia Colman. I think everything I've seen her in, she's been absolutely brilliant, and so I knew that I was going to watch it, but I wasn't particularly like excited about it. But my god, it was really good. It was really fun. It has an excellent cast. Like the supporting cast are also really good. Really hilarious funny moments, beautiful scenery, beautiful set design, really great costuming, and a really realistic and believable script as well. Like the way that they communicate, the way that they talk to each other is so believable, and I think like that's what makes it so funny is that like you really believe them. But yeah, I really enjoyed the roses. I think if you enjoy like a kind of dark comedy, you would also really like this film. And that is the end of my November monthly Fibre Arts favourites. Let me know if you have watched any of these TV shows or movies or read any of the books that I've mentioned. And have you tried tapestry crochet before? Is that something that you want to do? But yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you want to catch any of my future content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.